Okay, so we are back. Hi everybody again. Okay, now we are moving into sensory. What is sensory? The popular five senses. Seven. Seven senses. Only five. Okay. So eyes with its sight, and then ears, of course, hearing. Those are all senses. Smell, right? Nose, taste, and touch. Okay, this is how we learn things, and they're all related. Okay. Usually, you need all the five senses to feel. If you close your eyes, you touch, so you're still not confident in things, right? Because we are so used to. Okay. Okay. So those are the five sensories, and this sensory is about tongue. It's about taste. Okay. Have you heard this? 98% taste is smell. You cannot taste, or you have flu, you have blocked nose, you don't know totally what you are tasting. And sometimes you say, oh no, it tastes like leather. Have you tasted leather? No, because you smell leather. So it comes in, you say, oh yeah, it tastes like leather, but actually it's from smell. It tastes like mud. Soil, So it's 98% taste comes from smell. Okay? Now, taste sensory. We taste different tastes around our tongue. Okay? Kalau ikut kat sini, front is always sweet. So that's why when we drink something, we hit, the first note that we hit is sweet. Oh, it's sweet. And then it dissipates. Because it goes into, then you sour. Sour, I will always get this as well. I cannot stand sour. So whenever sour, I always say like, because it's by the side, right? By the side. Yeah, it was like, so that's sour. And then salty, it's technically, salty, right? When you taste, most of the time when I cook also, I taste just a little bit here to taste whether it's salty. So that's why salty and sweet is just there. One of the reasons perhaps kita boleh still rasa when kita puasa. Because when we cook, it's only the sweet and the saltiness that we want to value. So it's there. It doesn't go inside. Unless it's bitter is inside. You have the Panadol. Mereka kat sini, okay, sampai reach there, pahit, bitter, right? Okay. And then umami, what is umami? Yeah, it's more bland. Very, apa you panggil?
Just try tasting MSG.
Yeah, that's right. Wow, okay. So that's very bland, very yes, that's umami. It's a very famous term for coffee nowadays. Okay, all right. So those are the tastes. Now, when we taste coffee, there's a rule to it. You see, tasting coffee is called cupping. Professionally, tasting coffee is called cupping. How it's done is that it's not only coffee actually, even tea, cocoa is all done the same. When tasters, or we call it connoisseur, they taste, they will take a small spoon, and sommelier is different, and young wine taster is different. Take a small spoon and they will slurp. They suck the coffee. Slurp. Why? Satu is disperse and it cools the coffee, and it disperses around your tongue. So you get all the senses. It hits all your tongue. You get the sweetness, you get it. Because sometimes if you drink coffee, you drink just right straight. You don't touch, you don't hit the saltiness, you don't hit the sourness. So usually, sorry? Maybe bitter. Very rarely if you taste coffee, you hit the bitter. Then you realize that coffee is actually not bitter. The bitter that you taste would probably come from the kopitiam coffee. Is the caramel, the dark burnt sugar. Yes. Okay, so usually it's not coffee. The first time, probably if you're not used to it, the first time, because it's already in your mind, coffee is bitter, so the first time you hit coffee, it's bitter. bitter. So I always say, close your eyes, take the second sip. The second sip, where did the bitter go to?
It's sweet.
It fades, it's gone, you know? So actually, coffee is not bitter. Bitter is the bad. If you get bitter coffee, then it's not a good coffee. It's not a good roast. Okay? So how we're going to do this is that we're all going to scoop the coffee and then we're going to slurp. Yeah. Okay? It's okay to slurp here. Because, you know, when you're at home, on dining table, what are you doing? When you slurp the soup, right? But here it's okay. Okay?
I always slurp when I'm alone at home. Whenever I'm
Because you can slurp.
Yes. Whenever I'm here, she's near me, she will always say, hey, what are you doing?
So it's okay when you're alone. Freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, because it's hot. You usually have very hot. Yeah?
We ate noodles, always.
Oh, slurp. Okay.
You need to work.
Yeah, it's always. The culture here is different. We don't usually do that. Yeah, because we don't usually have very, very hot.
So how can you eat ramen?
Just slow, not really slow, yeah, slow. No, like,
You don't eat very hot.
You make it full.
Because of it? Yeah, because of the weather. Exactly. Yeah. That's right. Okay, next page is actually flavor by altitude. If you turn to the next page, you can see the mountain. Okay, this is also determining or some guideline how coffee would taste. So usually if we buy coffee, we will usually ask the farmer or the origin or the exporter, this coffee is from which elevation, how high is it planted, so that we know. Yeah, because higher is usually very fruity, spicy, and it has that acidity. So soft, you know, so we know how to roast. Roasters does not just roast coffee, just chuck into the roasting machine. We evaluate. Yeah, we usually have to know the density of the beans so that we know at what temperature we can drop the beans. This is to make sure that the coffee come out beautifully. It has all the qualities that the farmer mentioned. Okay, so we have to evaluate a lot of things, and not all coffee are roasted the same. Assuming coffee from Africa. Coffee, when it goes through stages. You know, it goes the drying stage where you can smell like hay, and then it goes to the browning stage where the sugar develop, and then after that it cracks. You know why it cracks? It's because coffee has got a lot of moisture, just like popcorn. Popcorn, when you put in the pan, yes, it pops, right? So the same thing as coffee. It pops through the crack. The moisture releases through the cracks of the coffee, and then when you hear the first crack, so it's already developing, right? So not all coffee we roast after the crack. Not all coffee we roast immediately, stop at where it cracks. Some coffee we have to roast further up, or else it tastes too green, it will be underdeveloped. So these are all different quality coffee. The composition of the coffee itself is different. Wow. The roasting does affect the taste, but we also roast according to the taste. We try to bring out the best according to the altitude.
When do you decide to extend the roasting, or the first crack or the next crack? How many cracks?
Oh, there's only 2 cracks, or maybe the other cracks you just can't hear. Okay, the first crack, yes, it pops, but the second crack usually sizzle because there's nothing you can. It doesn't bloat anymore. It doesn't pop. Hummus too, French roast.
Still valid.
Still valid. French roast is valid. French roast, Italian roast, Viennese roast. That's what is very, very dark.
It's considered dark roast.
Yes. Yeah. So they go beyond very dark. What you see I roast is nothing. Have not reached them yet. So it's very, very
Temperature
dark.
wise, also you play with temperature wise.
Yep. You play a lot with temperature. Ethiopian or African coffee, you don't usually roast that dark, because if you roast that dark, it loses all the, covers up all the fruitiness, the floral, the nice that you want to taste. And then usually Indonesian coffee, you roast it darker. If you don't roast it dark, then you get it to be very green. You know, it's like mangga muda masam. You taste it very green. So you have the value from the density and so
I
on.
always thought the fruity is the lesser roasting.
The next is shorter roast. Yeah, the fruity is the shorter roast, because you want to retain the fruitiness. Yes. So like African coffee, usually I roast just after the first crack. I don't usually do before the first crack, is because the acid dia belum fully developed, so it could hurt people. So you must know where to play. A lot of young roasters, I like the acidity, the sourness. So I have to roast the coffee before it reaches the first crack. But before it reaches the first crack, you do not release the sweetness, and then the acidity doesn't really fully develop. So that's when you hurt. That's why people get migraine. It hurts because it's too.
But it's the one that developed, you said.
Yeah.
I experienced it.
I tak bangun. I had once, I couldn't get up the next day. I think 4 of us, we went on a cafe hopping. So we all shared. Just 1 cup because we went to a few. We all shared. The next day, none of us came to work. Because we had very bad wean and then burning migraine and so on. Yeah. So if you don't,
This is why coffee is very expensive, because when you roast it, you have to be very careful.
exactly. Exactly. And it takes years. I don't belittle young roasters or new roasters as long as they are experienced enough. But a lot of people, they learn roasting, they get certification, and they hardly roast, and they call themselves a roaster. I roast the best coffee. It's not, it comes through experience. You have to roast all the time to notice all these things. You know? And sometimes it doesn't teach you in the book as well.
You have to learn, you have to find out.
You have to find out a lot of things through experience.
That's with butter and everything.
That is something the Hainan roast lah. Hainan, you call it Hainan roast. They put the butter to make it oily. Lagi cantik. And then it has this cow, the creamy cow taste. You call it cow. You know the term cow too is actually black and very heavy. KAW. It's a tan is very strong, very strong.
Not the cow, yeah.
So that's the term.
Our term, KAW, Malaysian term. Cow.
Very high altitude, the flavor has like a line in it.
Like wine, you know, it's very winey. You call it winey, like fermented grape a little bit, but it doesn't have an alcohol value. It's just a taste, right? Ribena, senang. So it's just a term. A lot of people, actually there's also a process called wine process to extract the coffee.
There's also coffee made of wine.
Sorry?
There's also wine.
There is also coffee made, yes. There's also wine made of coffee. Yeah. But that one they go through distillation, lepas tu they add alcohol. Yeah, they add alcohol. Ada. So like the wine process that usually if you go, this is called wine process. It's not. It's just that, you see, wine process happen accidentally. Because the farmer, he wanted to ferment the coffee, and he forgot all about the coffee for 3 months. So when it comes out, it has that kind of winey, soury, very like alcohol kind of fermented taste, like tapai, and it gets to your nose, right? So but some people enjoy it. So then, okay, I left this. Okay, then I can repeat the process. So most of the coffee in the coffee processing, most accidents are good accidents actually. You see accidentally and then you discover something.
Just like the Bob Ross quote.
Just what?
Just like that one quote, accidents are happy accidents.
I guess that's where it comes from, probably. You know, there's also, but now these days there's also processing called infuse. So they infuse strawberry, they infuse melon, but it only happens during the processing. Then it can consider as natural. If it's already roasted, then you add some strawberry or melon syrup. That is different. That is artificial. It's considered artificial. But during processing, when they clean the coffee and then they want to ferment it, they will put essence or they put strawberry, and then it absorbs. Then only they go through the other process. That is considered natural. So it's allowed in all conditions. A lot. Actually, we were thinking for the next trip to LDC, we might extend to Simalam, which is in Toba, because they have the facilities that do that infusion.
Infused with bulan.
Wow. It could be because sekarang ada kopi apa? Serai dengan halia.
Serai here.
Selia. Kopi selia. Something like that.
Refreshing.
Very refreshing. Yeah, it could be. You know, some ginger torch. Yeah. So they have a coffee with ginger torch. I think that they try.
That's my favorite.
Okay? Alright. Okay, now is for the exercise. Bukan exercise ni exercise the sensory exercise. Okay, so you wanna drink, you wanna go toilet or whatever, we will have you while we prepare the coffee. Okay? They need to boleh je. Oh, yeah. Aduh, kuasa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hear.
So this runs from espresso to very coarse, the French press. Yeah. So it's different sizes from very fine to very coarse. Usually the espresso machine is not that fine, but it go very different. This one is very different.
Mm.